Would you believe some brand new SUVs on the market today are already almost worthless? Not because of age, but because buyers are running away from them. And this is not about EVs. These are gas-powered SUVs that turned into financial disasters in 2026. If you own one of these, you have already lost thousands. Today, this video is counting down the 15 most worthless new SUVs you can waste your money on right now. Let's go from bad to worse. Number 15. 2025 Buick Enclave. The 2025 Enclave got a massive redesign, which usually helps resale, but not this time. CarEdge predicts the SUV will lose half of its value within 3 years of ownership. Here's the problem. Buick flooded the rental market. Corporate fleets bought thousands of 2025 Enclaves, and now in 2026, the used market is drowning in rental returns. A $50,000 Enclave is struggling to clear $25,000 at auction right now. The redesign itself created another issue. Buick ditched the proven 3.6-liter V6 for a 2.5-liter turbocharged inline-4. On paper, it saves fuel. In reality, it is loud, underpowered for a 3-row SUV, and customers hate it. Early reliability feedback is brutal. Owners report transmission issues, jerky shifts, power loss, and hard shifting. Buick tried to justify an almost luxury price point with the redesign, but when your SUV is plagued with transmission problems and rental fleet stigma, buyers are not paying luxury prices. They're offering bottom dollar at option, and private sellers are getting destroyed on trade-ins. Number 14. 2025 Infiniti QX80. Infiniti redesigned the QX80 for 2025 with a twin-turbo V6, modern tech, and updated styling, but in 2026, it is bleeding value at an alarming rate. With a CarEdge prediction of 51% depreciation from a high MSRP around $85,000, owners are watching $40,000 disappear in 3 years. Here's the brutal truth. The Infiniti tax is real. Despite the redesign, luxury buyers in 2026 are flocking to Lexus and Cadillac instead. The QX80 suffers from a lack of brand prestige. Infiniti dealers are being forced to close showrooms and move under Nissan dealerships. The brand sets an automotive purgatory. Too expensive to be mainstream and not prestigious enough to be truly luxury. Number 13. 2025 Nissan Murano. The 2025 Murano was Nissan's attempt to modernize its stylish midsize SUV. Instead, it landed in no man's land, and the value is collapsing fast. Here's the core problem. The Murano is not luxury, but it is priced like it is. At $40,000 to $50,000, you're paying near luxury money for a Nissan badge, and buyers just aren't biting. They either grab a CR-V or move up to a Highlander. And here's what really accelerates the damage. Thousands of brand new Muranos from 2025 are sitting on dealer lots with no buyers. Dealers are throwing cash incentives and discounts just to move inventory. When new ones are being discounted, used values get crushed almost overnight. The result is Murano owners are underwater almost immediately. One owner paid $47,000 new, and just 12 months later, trade-in offers sit around $32,000. That's 32% gone in a single year. Number 12. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Consumer Reports rated the Grand Cherokee among the least reliable vehicles for 2025. Combined with 52% value loss from around $55,000, that's a $28,600 nightmare. But here's where it gets real. Owners are not just losing money, they're losing their minds. The 4xe plug-in hybrid has been recalled for sudden power loss. Owners report infotainment screens randomly going blank, leaving them without navigation, climate control, or backup cameras. The 5th-generation Grand Cherokee L has been recalled 15 times. That's not a typo. 15 recalls for a vehicle generation that launched in 2021. Between the electronic gremlins and the massive dealer markups people paid in 2025, owners are now finding out their SUV is worth $30,000 less than they owe.
Number 11. 2025 Nissan Armada. The 2025 Armada switched to a V6, but it did not solve the core Nissan problem. Buyers who purchased this SUV last year are on track to lose nearly 54% of what they paid by next year. Historically, the Armada has always been the budget full-size SUV. It is the option buyers choose when they cannot quite stretch to an Escalade, Lexus LX, or Yukon. And in the used market, that perception matters. By 2026, the Armada gets very little respect from buyers. So why does it depreciate so fast? First, price. The Armada now starts around $60,000 and climbs past $75,000 fully loaded. When depreciation hits a vehicle at that price point, the dollar loss is brutal. Second, the new powertrain backlash. Nissan ditched the V8 for a turbocharged V6, and traditional full-size SUV buyers are not thrilled. They wanted the V8 rumble, simplicity, and proven durability. Instead, many feel they paid premium money and got a lesser engine. Number 10. Jeep Wagoneer L. Stellantis promised the Wagoneer would compete with the Yukon and Expedition. Instead, it delivered an electrical nightmare that loses 54% of its value in 3 years. The Wagoneer L is a massive SUV with a massive problem. It is completely unreliable, and in 2026, buyers are terrified of the maintenance costs once the 36,000-mile warranty expires. It's a $90,000 truck that feels like a $40,000 liability the moment you sign the papers. Kelley Blue Book data shows a 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer Series 2, $91,000 new, now worth around $54,000 after 18 months. That's 41% gone and counting. The Wagoneer is not just depreciating, it's dangerous. Families are stranded on road trips. Owners are hiring lemon law attorneys, and resale values are cratering as word spreads. Before this countdown continues, if you're getting any value from this video, hit that like button so more drivers do not get burned by these depreciation disasters. Number 9. Land Rover Range Rover Sport. Land Rover has mastered the art of making expensive vehicles worthless. According to CarEdge data, the Range Rover Sport drops 55.5% in 3 years. The 2024 Range Rover Sport has been recalled 5 times for issues including oil leaks, transmission failures, and rear-view camera malfunctions. One recall involved transmission oil pressure dropping, causing the clutch to shift into neutral while driving. Owner forums are filled with electrical nightmares, air suspension failures, and infotainment problems. One owner described their Range Rover as beautiful but unreliable. Another said, "I love how it drives when it works," which is not often enough. Number 8. Jaguar F-Pace. No one should be surprised to see this one on the list because this is a dead model walking. Jaguar said 2025 would be the last year for the F-Pace, yet somehow it is still limping into 2026. It's hard to understand why it's still being built. With 56% depreciation, F-Pace owners are losing nearly $30,000 in 3 years. But the real problem is not the SUV, it's the brand collapse happening in real time. Jaguar announced it is going all electric and discontinuing nearly all its gas models. That left F-Pace owners holding an orphan vehicle from a brand in retreat. Why would anyone buy a used Jaguar when warranty support, parts availability, and the brand's entire future are massive question marks? After 5 years, the F-Pace can lose over 70% of its value.
Number 7. Dodge Durango. On paper, the Durango still delivers. Rear-wheel drive, V8 power, real towing capacity. But with 59% depreciation, a $62,000 Durango becomes a $25,600 SUV in 3 years. Dodge kept the Durango alive for 2025 with even more last call editions, but the novelty has worn off. The high-performance versions are losing value even faster as the muscle SUV trend officially dies out. Here's the problem. The current Durango generation is old. While competitors added modern safety tech, hybrid efficiency, and updated interiors, Dodge kept selling the same SUV. A 1-year-old Durango averaged $43,047 in resale, a 30.8% drop from new. That is $19,000 evaporated in 12 months. Number 6. Dodge Hornet. The Hornet is Dodge's identity crisis on wheels. It's a rebadged Alfa Romeo Tonale, which is itself problematic, sold under a muscle car brand. That fusion just doesn't sell, and the Hornet's 59% depreciation proves it. Walk into a Dodge dealer in 2026 and you'll see the problem.
Hornets are piling up on the lot with no buyers. By mid-2025, Dodge was offering $15,000 discount on new ones just to clear the lots. When new cars sell for that much under MSRP, it nukes the used market. Your 2025 Hornet is worth less than a 5-year-old RAV4 today. Quality issues have plagued the Hornet from launch, and then came the recalls. Number 5. Alfa Romeo Tonale. Alfa Romeo thought Italian styling could crack the American compact SUV market. That assumption was dead wrong. With nearly 61% depreciation, Tonale owners are losing around $28,000 in just 3 years on a vehicle that started near $46,000. Sales tell the story. Only 3,383 Tonales found buyers in 2025, nowhere near what Alfa expected, and the problems stack up fast. There's a sparse United States dealership network, limited brand awareness, and long-standing reliability concerns that continue to haunt Alfa Romeo. It gets worse. The 2024 Tonale has already been recalled 6 times. Owners report transmission delays, battery drain issues, sensor glitches, and build quality problems, all of which crushed buyer confidence almost immediately. And the used market is brutal. A 2024 Tonale with 20,650 miles is listed at $19,773, down nearly 59% from its $48,000 new price. Number 4. Alfa Romeo Stelvio. The Stelvio suffers from the same Alfa Romeo curse as the Tonale. It is gorgeous to look at, fun to drive, and absolutely brutal on resale. With nearly 61% depreciation, Stelvio owners lose about $29,800 in just 3 years, on a vehicle that starts around $49,000. The problem is not the driving experience, it's everything else. A limited United States dealer network, low brand awareness, and Alfa Romeo's long-standing reliability reputation scare off used car buyers. That weak demand sends resale values into a nosedive. Number 3. Land Rover Range Rover. This one hurts because the Range Rover looks like it should hold value. The presence, the luxury, the badge all scream status. But behind that luxury image is one of the worst depreciation curves in the entire SUV market. With nearly 68% depreciation, some owners are losing well over $70,000 in just 3 years. So what's going on? You have reliability nightmares, insanely complex electronics, air suspension failures, and sky-high repair and maintenance costs. That combination absolutely destroys used buyer confidence. Here's what really kills resale. Once that 3-year warranty expires, buyers run. Nobody wants to own a Range Rover out of warranty. If you truly have the means, you lease it and pay the loss monthly. Many wealthy buyers do exactly that. They lease, write it off on their taxes, and hand it back before the warranty ends. Number 2. Maserati Grecale. Maserati's newest SUV is already its newest disaster. The Grecale loses 71.9% of its value in 3 years on a vehicle that costs $70,000 to $85,000 to start. The Grecale shares the same quality issues plaguing all Stellantis products. Report electrical malfunctions, software glitches, and repeated dealer visits within the first few months. When buyers are spending this kind of money and still living at the service department, word spreads fast and resale values fall off a cliff. Number 1. Maserati Levante. If this number looks familiar, that is because it is. The Levante shares the same brutal 71.9% depreciation as the Maserati Grecale, but here's the difference and why this one takes a top spot. The Levante starts way more expensive, so when it collapses, the dollar losses are catastrophic. We're talking 6-figure SUVs losing more than 2/3 of their value in just 3 years. Everything that hurts the Grecale hits even harder here. Low demand, tiny dealer network, high maintenance costs, and long-standing reliability concerns are all still there, but now you're stacking those problems on top of a much higher MSRP. Once the warranty is gone, the used market basically taps out. Buyers do not trust it, dealers do not want it, and resale values fall through the floor. And here's the kicker. The Levante has a Ferrari-derived engine, but its resale value is worse than a used Kia Soul. That is the Maserati promise. There you have it.
15 gas-powered SUVs that became worthless in record time. Which one shocked you the most? Or worse, are you stuck with one of these depreciation disasters? Drop your horror stories in the comments, and if you made it this far, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching. See you next time.